Today, I'm on my way to the South Rural Task Force of Lancashire Police, based at Ormskirk, to spend the day with them. They have 1 sergeant and 7 specialist officers in the team, and I'm going to be with 2 of the officers, PC Sean Dolby and PC Luke Gallagher, as I want to find out what they are doing to combat rural crime.
I am Police Constable Sean Dolby, my call number is 3696. I'm part of the South Rural Task Force for Lancashire Police.
I'm PC Luke Gallagher, call number 620. I'm part of the South Rural Task Force for Lancashire Police, currently based at Ormskirk.
After getting all the equipment ready, it's off to proactively patrol the farmland in the West Lancashire area.
So now we're just on a routine patrol of our areas. We go to areas that has been historically targeted. So we just drive around, see if there's anything suspicious. Is there anything parked up that wasn't parked there the other day? You know, whether that's a vehicle, whether that's plant machinery. As we're driving through, does something not look right? We can stop and speak to it. And it's just a high visibility presence so that communities see, oh, there's the police, and that makes them feel better, you know, a lot of the time, which is good.
But it's not always been like that with the rural communities, and how would you say you've rebuilt that trust?
You know, by listening, what are the issues within those areas and how can we deal with them, and then dealing with them. So a big part of it would be, well, what have we actually done? So in this area, particular area that we're in, a big area was hare coursing. You know, it was left, it wasn't dealt with. Officers went and didn't quite know how to deal with it, didn't have an understanding of what it was. It's the issue with the hare itself, it's the issue with damage, it's the issue with threats. So our team have come out actively searching for those individuals, tackling with them, dealing with them, and getting them at court and having court results and banning them from areas. We've been doing CBOs on them, so they can't come into areas, they can't be in cars with certain individuals, and that's really been a positive as well. So I think what I'm trying to get is, they've told us about it, but we've taken action, we've actually dealt with it and done something about it, and that's been a positive. That's the great thing about this team, the communication we have with the community. All different parts of the rural community speak to us a lot more now than they probably have done historically. And that's given us a better idea of what's actually going on and how we can better police those areas and how we can better help the community. I think a big thing is that we are in this role because we care about the rural communities in the countryside. So we have a passion about it and we want to help these people. And I think whenever you're having a passion or a genuine interest about it, it's always easy, whatever job you're in, isn't it? And I think that's helped, that we want to help, and it's good to see that, and we're getting a lot of positive feedback back that we are helping, and that's really good to hear. Because you can get a lot of negativity in the police, but to be honest, the community that we found, we've had a lot of positives. Look at that. We have a lot better understanding of where certain tracks take you as well. Local knowledge is important about your area, and that's been improved as well. I'm just having a look at this car, Lucy, that we've just seen, so I'll just, it's going to come out. It's going to come out just past that gate on the left hand side. So because we're out often stopping and talking to people, we know what vehicles are usually in what areas. So if there's a vehicle that we haven't seen before, we'll tend to just stop it. And a lot of the time it's nothing, but, and people are dead happy actually. What we found is, which is quite interesting, people find it a positive that we're stopping them and speaking to them. They don't see it as a negative.
PC Dolby is ascertaining who this man is and if he has permission to be on this land.
Yeah, he's from a company just working for James, the landowner.
And people are dead happy that we're stopping them, because in the past you've had stuff gone, diggers or rollers and stuff, and police aren't stopping people, so they don't know it's stolen, and it's gone forever then. So they're dead happy that they're being stopped, because it shows that we actually care. This one.
So we're just going to make sure that they are who they say they are. And because we know who the landowner is, they should say that, which should confirm their story. I'll quickly go on and have a chat with them.
As PC Dolby set off to chat to the group of people, PC Gallagher continued to patrol a remaining stretch of land that would eventually meet up with where his colleague was.
Yeah, from the Wildlife Trust doing surveys. They're happy. I'll pass them our details. They're going to send us any information if there is anything, but we haven't seen anything of note. Last few weeks they've been doing it. Really happy to be stopped. Really happy to see us. Yeah, it's all sorted. They'll probably come out the back of that house there. Obviously, offenders can see us coming as much as we can see them, so that's something we've got to manage and to tackle. So we try and do it in different groups and come in from different areas, try and avoid that.
What would you say is the hardest part about the job then on this task force?
Do you know what? It's going to sound really corny, but I really enjoy it. I come to work really looking forward to every day, and I don't think there's a negative.
Hare coursing is a problem in flat rural areas, but this rural task force has reduced hare coursing in West Lancashire by over 60% since the force was set up.
It's the type of area they really love. But when it is hare coursing, we would actively come out here and we'd work as a team. One area would work here, another area.
What would you say then, like people don't realise about your job, people who maybe aren't from the rural community, that you do?
We work with a wide range of jobs and every day is different, and the more we're in this role, the more we realise how organised the crime is. You know, like we discussed before, it can be national, it can be international, like we found out this week.
The simple stuff, the hare course and the stuff that people think is nothing, is often linked to criminals who are part of a much bigger picture. And that's what the violent sports that they do is just what they do for fun, which then goes on to bigger things.
Yeah.
So people might think that hare coursing is just, you know, for want of a better phrase, bunny bothering. However, those lads, it tends to be males, you know, they will come out, they will damage fencing, they will damage crops, they will drive the land, they'll threaten landowners, they'll threaten farmers. So it's not just that. Then you have obviously the fact that a hare is being ripped to shreds by two dogs, by being ripped apart. So you have the wildlife side of it in that aspect, and the threat to the community. You know, there's gambling going on. Is that then linked? We tend to find the link to drug dealing. You know, the violent offences at the weekend. You know, if they're happy seeing a hare getting shredded to parts, they're often linked to stamping on someone's head of a weekend in the town or city centre. So that's what we do with that sort of stuff. You know, your theft of plant machinery. So your ATVs, your quads. We've done a lot of searches in towns and cities where, you know, OCGs are using them, or low-level ASB, you know, driving around the streets. Stuff like that. So what we've seen here is that there's no reg plate on the back of this trailer. So it's just giving us a bit of suspicion, so we're just going to stop it and see what's what.
A very small cardboard reg.
Have a look at that. He's actually the son of one of the local farmers who had his JCB stolen that we went out to, grade 1, we recovered the JCB. So he was really thankful for the stop. So what we did is just looked at the Caesar stamp, we've run it through data tag, it's all in order, and we've given him some advice and he's going to change that reg plate, and we're happy with that. And it's really good to have that positive feedback. Yeah. He said, you know, if I got my stuff stolen, I'd want you out checking vehicles to try and find it again. So we really understood why we'd stopped him, and there was no issues at all. Luke went and checked all the systems through. It wasn't a date tag, it wasn't a Caesar stamp on it, but we run it through another system and it was all in order. So let him go.
Whilst on patrol, the rural crime team are available to intercept and assist with other police jobs that are called in the area. They next attended a possible burglary as they were the nearest team to the location. No 2 days are the same in the police, and I still had quite a few questions about the team, so whilst patrolling on foot, was able to ask them. And we last spoke in 2021, and obviously the team's gotten bigger since then. Is there any successes or things that you can talk about now that have happened?
Since 2021 we've had a lot of successes. We've had a lot of people convicted of hare coursing, we've had a lot of people convicted of stolen handling goods for plant machinery, we've had drug drivers, we've had drink drivers, we've had drug dealers, as well as that we found multiple missing people, which has been good, like we did today. And we've got some huge ongoing jobs this year, so hopefully in the next few months I'm going to court and we should have some court results that I think we're really interested in. Unfortunately I can't talk about them because they're live jobs, but they are going to be national jobs that I think will be really interesting. I'm really looking forward to seeing what the outcomes are.
So if you were patrolling here now, kind of what are you looking out for that potentially might be suspicious, or kind of, in your eyes, what are you analysing?
So we come here regularly, so we know a lot of the time the farmers obviously would know what vehicles are where usually. So if we were out here and we saw, from say, two individuals walking that we wouldn't normally see walking, they're not on a footpath, then we'd go and speak to them, see what they're up to. If we were to see a piece of plant machinery that was parked up and not usually parked but didn't quite look right, we'd run it through data tag if it had that. If we saw, say in the woodland there, looked slightly disturbed, people could be storing quad bikes, because that's quite often what they do. We had some information that the GPS systems were being stolen by people on electric scooters using drones, so anybody flying a drone, we'd obviously stop and speak to them. Anybody that just looked out of place, we'd speak to them, because there's nothing wrong as a police officer speaking to people, and most people around here are really happy with it when we do, so it's never an issue.
What has the rural community been saying about kind of what you've been doing and kind of what they're wanting you to concentrate on or look on, especially in like the West Lancashire and Lancashire area?
So if we use West Lancashire as an issue to talk about, they have issues with hare coursing. Historically, it probably hasn't been dealt with very well by the police. We've probably had a poor response to it because there's probably been a very big misunderstanding about what it is and what it does. We understand that it's more than what people say about bunny bothering in terms of it's the actual issues of the hare getting ripped apart. You have lads driving the land, going over crops, damaging fencing, making threats to burn, taking money off people, and we've tried to stop that here. So that was a big issue. We've worked together as a big team, both the community and ourselves, talking better. There's been a much better communication now between ourselves and the rural community, and sharing information. So we get the information hot off the press as such, and we can go out and deal with it. And I think the biggest thing that we've done is that they told us that it was a problem, and we've done our best to try and help them with it. And that's taking people to court, that's by turning out and showing that we take it seriously.
You said back in 2021 that your aim was to kind of try and chat to most farmers in the area, introduce yourself. Would you say you've achieved that 3 years on?
I think we obviously cover a massive area, as you know, geographically. I think in some areas we've done better than others. I think that's an area that we still need to improve on, working with maybe the NFU and other key contacts.
Yeah.
So probably the biggest trend that we have at the minute is ATVs, so quad bikes. Agricultural quad bikes are being stolen, and we're trying to deal with that. We've done multiple warrants recently. We've recovered a few quad bikes, and they tend to be going to towns or cities. We've just had a court outcome for a lad handling stolen goods for one that we found on a tracker as well. So I'd always advise to put a tracker on them, and maybe some sort of data tag or anything like that, so we can locate them as well. We've got a fly tipping job where we stopped him with 100 kilos of fly tipping material. When we looked into that, they've been fly tipping all over the country. So we're linking in with the Environment Agency to have to deal with that. So that's a large OCG, fly tipping. We've then looking at the GPS systems. We believe that's international when we've looked at that, and we've been speaking to other countries about the assistance with them and the offenders for that as well.
You talked about pride in your work and personal pride in the job. Why was it then that you wanted to get into the rural task force?
So growing up, my mum's from a rural community, so I've always been interested in the rural and the farming world. I enjoy doing it in my own time, so to be able to help people and be able to do something that I love in my job is great, and I really want to help the community, and I think that we've done that so far, but I want to keep getting better and keep helping people within this community.
That's testament because of more people coming in, and you were saying kind of crimes, rural crimes going down.
Yeah, certain rural crime is coming down. We have to be realistic that crime won't stop, but but it's how we manage it and deal with it. And it's important that people keep reporting it to us, no matter how trivial it might be, so we understand what's happening in what areas. If people don't talk to us, we don't know. The biggest gift to us is the community telling us what's happening, whether that's be intelligence or whether that's crime, and we need the support of the community, which in a lot of areas we have done, and that's where we've seen crime going down, and it has gone a lot quieter with people telling us, which has been great. Crime changes and develops constantly, and that's why we're trying to listen to what impacts people and how we can help them with that. And from myself and the team, it's just a big thank you for everybody in the community for their continual support and their help, and without you we couldn't do it. It's a massive team effort from ourselves and the community that's working really well, and we want to keep moving that forward. We've also heard a lot that people have had issues with the 101 system, and maybe what they've reported not being taken seriously or being misunderstood, whether that be GPS systems being taken down as like tom-toms, or whether hare coursing not being taken seriously. As such, myself and the team go out now and we're training up all the comms operators to have a much more understanding of the rural community. So I think that's a part of, you said it, and we've tried to help it and tried to do it.
Other than just the crimes and things, that you do get a lot of involvement in mental health in farming.
Yeah.
And do you want to talk to me a little bit about that?
Yeah, mental health is becoming bigger across all forms of life, isn't it? We're much more aware of it as an individual, whether you're a police officer outside that. Whenever we go to a farm, if we were to ever see a farmer struggling, or anybody who's part of a farm, we would assist him or her with getting some help. And we work with Rabbi very closely, who are an external agency that will help farmers in particular.
Back in the car, we drive round a farmyard and meet a local farmer who has had concerns over recent thefts of machinery.
Something's being nicked at the minute, right?
There was one went from Ulker. We've been looking into it. It's a bit of a bigger job than we were originally expecting. I can't say too much about it, sorry to be so cryptic. But we're aware of it. That should stop.
Right. No worries.
So I'll keep you updated if there is anything, but that should stop now.
Yeah, no problem.
Right.
Alright,
Thank you, Sam.
Any issues, let us know.
Since 2021, this task force has made 57 arrests, seized 194 stolen vehicles and plant machinery, and conducted 227 stop searches.
I'd probably say that we still have the same issues as 2021, but as a team, we've got better at investigating them, understanding them, and how to deal with them, which I think's been better, and they have decreased in the numbers that have been reported. Yeah, I think it's going to be a good year for us. I'm looking forward to some of the court results we get and some of the further jobs that we get. I think it'll be a good year. So watch this space.